The Prentice Allsup Heating and Air Coaches Corner, fueled by Donut Country and McDonald's Murfreesboro on FM 101.9 and AM 1450 Murfreesboro, FM 100.5 Smyrna, and streaming at WGNSSports.com.
And the Coaches Show is brought to you by Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin, who will work with you to develop a complete and tailored strategy to help you achieve your financial goals. That's Edward Jones financial advisor Lee Colvin. Joining us here this morning is the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, Mike Woodward. And Mike, boy, this region has been something else this year, hasn't it?
Yeah, it really has. Stewart's Creek's got the region locked up now, and went against them last night, and very, very good team, very balanced, really, really good on both lines, offensively and defensively, and got guys that can make plays in space. So, Ben's done a great job there, and he's got them playing their best ball here, getting ready for the playoffs. And, I think they've got several more games ahead of them.
You seem to catch opponents in this league, and maybe especially this year, when they're, in stride. And that makes it tough on a young team like you've got there.
It does, and we talked about last week some of the young guys we've got playing now, and we've got, on the offensive line, we were starting 2 sophomores and a freshman last night, and then our 6th lineman was another freshman, so, real young on that side, and we started a freshman on the defensive line too, so, they got indoctrinated last night a little bit, but that's good for them, and that'll be good for the program in the future to get this experience now, and give them an idea going into this offseason about how important, the weight room is going to be and what they can expect to face next year.
Well, there's a lot to be said about having kids grow up in the midst of what's going on here, but there's a huge difference in the 4 years in terms of sophomore to playing, seniors, and you really can't replicate that in any other way, and it's almost like a David and Goliath situation sometimes.
Well, I mean, there's no doubt that's what makes, in my opinion, that's what makes football different from every other sport, at the high school level, because it's such a physical game. And, there are other sports where, as a freshman or as a sophomore, maybe you can be on equal footing. But, when you go out, and especially when you're talking about linemen, there's no substitute when you got a senior who's been involved in a weight program for 3 years versus a freshman who's just now getting a taste of it. There's just physically going to be a difference unless you happen to have one of those very rare, special freshmen. So, and you can talk to them. It's one of those things that, you can talk to them about it all you want and try to prepare them, but, sometimes it's just life lessons. You got to go out there and you got to experience it yourself. But, but the kids we have out there, they've earned that right to go out there. I know it's important to them, and they fought their tails off. And, I expect a big offseason from all of them after seeing what 6A football's like.
I had one of the coaches was talking about, that they're freshmen and sophomores and really excited about it, maybe taking a few lumps this year, but, excited for the future. And he said, well, you better get us now, and that's a great way to look at it, knowing, you had to know that this was going to be kind of a building year for Laverne going into this, and helping to keep their mind right is a big part of your job now, I would think.
Oh, it's huge. We had opportunities early in the year, and obviously, it's easy to look back now, but, if we win a couple of those games early on that were, one-possession games, things probably were different. But, it is what it is, and this happens in life sometimes. And, to the kids who have kept coming every day and kept working in the weight room and kept working to get better, this will be a building experience for them. And the one thing we'll say is, again, looking at these young guys, we had a lot of young guys, who were excited to go out and compete last night, and guys who, I thought took advantage of the opportunity and showed that they didn't back down from the best team in our region and went ahead and gave us what they had, which is all we can ask for, and now it's going to be up to them to keep building on it and prepare for next season.
Coach Mike Woodward joining us here this morning. I could sit and talk to you all day about this kind of thing because it's really interesting because, not everyone has, a roster of 130 kids and, JV and freshman teams and all this kind of thing. And honestly, I think coaching in any sport, but maybe football, you have to not only be coach, but you also kind of have to have maybe a psychiatry degree in some of that, and just and the social things that our kids are having to deal with today. You bottle all of that up, and it's just crazy what our kids, even at a younger and younger age, have to deal with. What you and I dealt with, Mike, maybe in high school, these kids are dealing with in 5th and 6th and 7th grade.
Well, and social media makes it so tough because, they think, they feel like everything out there is the truth, and so, they see what other people post and or what other people say is going on, and sometimes they put, in my opinion, a little too much stock into it, and they lose sight of it. They just have so many voices in their head, it's hard to sort out which ones to block and which ones to listen to, so there's a lot of distractions there, and we've always just tried to focus on, building the whole individual. And like, I've said it many times, using football as a tool to prepare them for everything that happens when high school is over, because it's so rare and there's so few. I mean, 7% of high school players play college ball. And, social media makes it seem like everybody gets that chance. And that's just not true. So it's just trying to take these lessons, and the ones that do have the physical talent and the work ethic and the academics to get there, man, that's great. And, keep using football as a tool, but for so many, it's just, having this experience and learning the lessons to prepare you for the 50, 60 years you've got after high school, so right. We just try to keep preaching that to our guys. And, this is the greatest game in the world to me. I think you learn so many things, and it's just, trying to get them to appreciate that and try to get better every day.
And Mike, the game of football has changed in many ways, and not just the different levels and how competitive it is at each level, but now you look at it, kids want to play college so they can play NFL. Well, now with NIL, kids play high school to play college, which is, if you're one of the, not just the 7%, but maybe the top of the 7%, you've got a chance, and so it's all these stars. And then that's where the social media comes in and pumping people up. And when you start throwing money at things, it's really changed not only the college game, but it's changed the high school game too.
It has. And it's, in my opinion, it's kind of unfortunate because you don't, then the kids miss out on just loving the game.
Yeah.
And one thing with the season we've had, first off, we've got great kids, don't get me wrong, but everybody views football differently, and everybody has a different amount of love. And and some guys love the game, and they're going to be out there working every single day. And there's other guys that love it when things are going good, and then once things aren't going good, all of a sudden other things become more important. And I wish everybody could just love it like we did growing up. And but again, for the guys that do, man, it's awesome. And then if not, then it's not. But we just try to focus on the guys who are coming every day and loving it, because it's not a game you get to play your whole life. So, man, just focus on the love of the game and keep playing.
Mike, also, if you just look at football where we were maybe when you first started coaching and when I first started broadcasting to today, I had a conversation with someone this week about it, so that's kind of why it's on the mind. But they were saying that if you watched college football 15, 20 years ago and high school football today, you would think that you're watching college football on the high school field. And in college is almost like a semi-pro, if that makes sense, because bigger, stronger, faster, weight room, technology, all these kinds of things that have changed the game from top to bottom.
No doubt. You hit a great point talking about, the training, the off-season stuff. It just seems like every year you learn something new, and the training part of it is something that, man, I really enjoy like researching and listening to people talk and seeing what different people do to in terms of developing explosiveness, developing the power. And it's so different. The workouts we've got our guys doing are so different from, what I was doing when I was playing ball, or even just from, what I had guys doing when I started, 25 years ago doing high school programs. So, yeah, definitely bigger, stronger athletes now back then. And, everything just gets ramped up a little bit earlier, it seems like each year. But, big difference.
Well, you get a chance to do something that not every team gets to do, and a chance to end the season with a win. It's not going to be easy. You're going to have to go to Antioch to do it, and the Bears, pretty good team, and you, of course, very familiar with that school, obviously. Yeah, very good team, very explosive on the offensive side, and it'll be a challenge. I mean, I think they, beating Smyrna last night, locking up the 2 seed. So, they've really built that up over the last couple of years, and it will be a challenge for us. But, every Friday you get to step on the field is a blessing. Or in this case, it'll be a Thursday. But every chance to get on that field is a blessing, and, we'll go out there and we'll play hard. Mike, appreciate you spending time with us this morning. You're always great to come on every Saturday morning. I love talking to you here on the air, and we'll do it again next week.
All right. Appreciate it, Mike.
All right. Thank you, Coach. That is Mike Woodward joining us, the head coach of the Laverne Wolverines, on the Coach's Show, brought to you by Lascassas Feed Supply, locally owned and operated by Coy and Jennifer Young, specializing in animal feeds, premium pet foods, farm supplies, and more. This is a paid
Hi, this is John Day of the Law Offices of John Day.